From the alley-oops at Keysaw to the glory days at the stick. From who's got it better than us to brick by brick. It's always the 49ers way. From off-season to game day. Yeah, we talk back. It's the 49ers Cutback.
It's 49ers Cutback podcast time. Finally, the state of Arizona has a Super Bowl champion franchise. That's right, the 49ers are now the Arizona 49ers, at least for the time being.
Gassing them.
Oh, my Lord.
Yeah, we're looking forward to this week's game. It's a real shame that Josh Allen limped off the field. He's got that bad knee coming up this week. I'd hate if he got hit on it.
Dang shame what happened to there, Josh Allen.
I don't feel like you're being sincere at all, Horst, to be honest with you. That's okay. We may not have the 49ers in Santa Clara, but they are in Arizona, and there's a chance that fans could go to games still as well there, since they are still open. So if you're a 49ers fan, rush out there and support your 49ers. Or you can just watch them on television and listen to the podcast.
You'll probably have to drive a car and you can't fly because Newsom will be all over you.
That is true also.
So the 49ers, Kyle Shanahan talked about this. It's going to be a little bit of a change going to Arizona. Now they're going to be in a soft bubble. They're in Arizona at a hotel. All their meetings, everything is going to happen there. So, yes, it's terrible for the players. I think that's awful what's happening. Some of them are probably going to move their families out there, which is expected. I think that's bad. I think the good part is still now they're going to be in a bubble. They can be in more control around their surroundings, where the players are, and hopefully COVID doesn't strike the 49ers for the rest of the season.
Yeah, that's a great way to look at it, is hopefully it keeps them healthy, keeps them safe. But man, the state of California, or more specifically the county of Santa Clara, you really let the 49ers down. That's absolutely ridiculous. It's just as bad in New York. They're not making the Jets or the Giants play somewhere else. There's no fans. As Tim Ryan pointed out on the radio this week, every person in that stadium on game day has been COVID tested 5 times that week.
Right.
And been negative. From the refs to the players to even Tim Ryan and Papa. So I don't understand the need for that. It was just them trying to prove a point. But the Arizona thing, it's that once again the Niners are going to have to roll with the punches that this season has thrown at them if they want to have a successful end of the season. And the good thing, like you said, is that hopefully they should, it should be hard for them to get COVID now if they're going to just stay in one spot. And it was cool that they said they're going to allow their families to join them at the hotels if they would like.
I think that was the key thing for me. That was the most important. A lot of these guys are going to get homesick if you have to keep them away from their families for the next 5 to 6 weeks, not being able to see them for a month and a half. Never would that ever happen in a regular NFL season. The impact of that, I think, would be greater than anything else that they could possibly be dealing with. So the fact that their families get to be with them in the bubble, I'm happy to hear that. I'm happy to see that. Now the NFL as a whole needs to get their act together on top of everything else with competitive equity, because there's a lot of issues going on this season in the NFL with COVID and all these restrictions. This 49ers team itself dealing with the COVID, all the players on the COVID list, all the players on IR, now not having your home stadium, having to be away from your families. At least they'll be able to be there with them. But there are other issues plaguing the NFL right now that the NFL needs to address. We won't talk about that right now on this podcast specifically because we got a game to discuss.
And right before we get to the offensive key matchups, I would like to say I would appreciate the NFL helping the 49ers get to Arizona, because now we get to play extra games at Arizona to prepare for Week 16.
It's true.
So thank you for the familiarity of playing at the stadium.
As Rudy says, we're going to get to know the lay of the land.
The lay of the land, you're right.
He is right.
But we're going to get to our offensive key matchups. Horst. Oh, you got something to say?
Oh, hats off to both teams' Twitters.
Like real hats off?
Yes.
Real hats.
I'm not going to take mine off because I'm bald and it's embarrassing.
Gotcha.
But seriously, I don't know what you guys think, but hats off to both teams' Twitters for the jokes they were throwing back and forth.
All the Step Brothers. It was fantastic.
If you didn't see them, go to either the Niners or Cardinals' Twitter.
Yep.
Great.
Awesome. It's good stuff.
And it's time for the offensive key matchups. Horst, who do you got for this key matchup of 49ers versus Bills? where are you leaning?
Okay, for the 49ers offense, my key matchup is Debo and Ayuk in space against the Bills defensive backs. The Niners need to
Like near the moon in space, or
no, like with room around them once they have the ball.
Oh, that. Okay.
So we all know that we're dealing with a backup quarterback situation here.
What?
We know Kyle's inventive in the way he gets these guys the ball.
Yeah.
We need to continue to get these guys the ball in space no matter how we can. I know they mentioned Ayuk possibly returning some punts, which I think is interesting. But we need to continue to get these guys the ball in space, make the defense back up off the run game, and everything will be groovy.
Groovy. I love it. And I'm glad you brought up Nick Mullins in our backup quarterback situation because my offensive key matchup this week is Nick Mullins versus himself. That's right, Nick. Take a good hard look at yourself in the mirror and ask, can I really not screw up this team's chances? Because we need you to not blow it this week. Don't blow it. The last few starts for Nick Mullins have been anything else other than glorious. He looked decent at the start of the game up until he missed Jordan Reed on that throw, and then as soon as he missed Jordan Reed on that throw, it just did not look like he ever mentally got out of his own way.
It was a cavalcade of mistakes.
It was a cavalcade of mistakes after that. That was a beautiful usage of word. Look at this guy's vocabulistics over here. They're impressive. But Nick Mullins has to take a look at himself, get out of his own way, stop getting into his own head when he makes mistakes. You're going to make them. You're a backup quarterback for a reason, kid. Embrace the role, embrace the opportunity that you now have in front of you. This team doesn't need you to win games. They need you to not lose them. Don't play not to lose. Play to win. Have confidence in yourself. And at the end of the day, whatever happens, happens. Lean on your teammates for support, and they're going to pick you up when you falter.
Yeah, I think he's trying to find the balance between what Kyle Shanahan told him about managing the ball and not making mistakes and still taking shots when they're needed.
Correct.
And that's going to be fun to watch. Hopefully Kyle can dial up some wide open shots. It doesn't mean that he's absolutely going to hit them, but hopefully that'll help. My key matchup is going to be the 49ers run game versus the Bills. The Bills, they give you opportunities on the ground. They have given up 129.6 yards per game, so they're not exactly the best run-stopping defense. If the 49ers can get going early and often, that will help Mr. Mullins hopefully be able to defeat himself and not make too many mistakes. And I think it'll also help get guys the ball in space. So what we need to do is we need to execute the outside zone play, get Raheem Mostert, and get those guys going quick and fast, especially Mostert. Last week, he got going, but then he couldn't continue to keep it going. And his yards per carry fell below 3 yards a carry, which is not good. Luckily, we have more running back help. Jeff Wilson Jr. came in and helped with that. Also, Deebo Samuel running out of the backfield. He was actually the best runner out of the backfield this week, and I look forward to them continuing. If they can do this, they can definitely keep the game close and beat the Bills.
So you're telling me that if Nick Mullins doesn't beat himself, gets the ball to the guys in open space, that the run game won't work? It's like a circle.
It is. It's like building blocks, Horse. You get the run game going, and then all of a sudden that helps the play action pass, which gets your guys the ball out there in space, wide open, where they can make plays.
It's like a circle.
My Lord, guys, we just...
First off, if you want to know something very funny about Mr. Horse, you need to watch the entire episode, because at the end, there is going to be a clip that is punny, and I mean that, okay? But right now, I need you to do me a favor. I need you to go down, like, comment, and subscribe. Let us know what you think the key matchups are for the 49ers versus the Bills, and we'll comment back. We've been getting some good suggestions, some people saying some things that are going to happen. We like it. Continue to do that. We'll continue the conversation with you, and we appreciate you watching. Thank you.
By the way, you can just call me Alex. You don't have to call me Mr. Horse.
Oh, Mr. Horse. You don't want it to be accurate.
Accurate.
So now it's time for the defensive key matchups for the 49ers this week. Alex, what do you got?
On defense, big one this week. There's an all-pro wide receiver on the other side. I don't know if you guys knew this or not. Stephon Diggs.
Oh, I didn't know that.
He's been one of the best receivers in the NFL this year, statistically, and with his route running and his ability to create separation at the top of his routes, especially deep, over 15 yards. So the key matchup for me this week, is their all-pro wide receiver versus our all-pro DBs in Jason Verrett and Richard Sherman. That's right, I said it, all pros, both of them. Verrett has been playing lights out. Richard Sherman's been playing lights out for the entirety of his career, maybe with the exception of like one season or like a few plays. But it's going to be important for them whenever he is on their side of the field that they're able to either A, keep him in front of them on the short routes, forcing him into areas of the zone where you have secondary help, or when he has those over-the-top routes and they're responsible for deep third coverage, not letting him get too much separation, being able to anticipate, feel, know when he's going deep, where he's going to be on the field, and making sure that whatever happens, that Josh Allen has to throw a perfect ball. Because if you make Josh Allen have to throw perfect passes for 4 quarters, it's not going to work out well for the Bills. You've seen him be red hot this year on occasion, and then you've seen games where he can't hit the broadside of a barn if his life depended on it. So the 49ers need to hopefully get some coverage sacks early in the game, keep Josh Allen in the pocket, take away a lot of those routes and options, because then Josh Allen, who is known notoriously for forcing and pressing the issue and trying to make plays, he will try to make plays, and when you try and make plays that you shouldn't make against all-pro cornerbacks like Verrett and Richard Sherman, it's going to lead to problems that the 49ers can capitalize on.
Yeah, definitely, especially after last year in the playoffs. Stephon Diggs had the big play down the sideline because of Ahkello Witherspoon. None of that's going to happen with Jason Verrett and Richard Sherman. You're right. They're gonna take care of business there, and that is a big-time key matchup. For me, the 49ers, it's going to be about the run game again. It's going to be about stopping the Bills, making sure that Josh Allen has to throw on 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9. If you get into these 3rd and 4s, he's going to be able to move the pocket and cause problems, especially because you don't want Diggs to beat you over the top. You want him to stay underneath. They're going to want to get the ball out quick, and as long as you can create these 3rd and longs, you're going to give the 49ers opportunities to get sacks. So they got to stuff the run, though, because if they start getting 3rd and short, they're going to be able to do a lot of damage and a lot of quarterback design runs and those sort of things, which the Bills seem to do. So they need to stop them early and often. And I think that if they can load up in the box and stop them and still be able to cover on the back end, it's going to be a long day for the Bills.
Yeah, and his leads into mine. Great ideas, both guys. Is that Josh Allen, especially with his banged up knee, is going to struggle if they stop the run, to use his play action passes, to move the pocket, to be mobile, and you get him into those long down situations, 3rd and 8 plus, and you make him be a pocket passer. Josh Allen is not a pocket passer. I know I said this about Jared Goff, but if you watch the game, what happened when they made him throw from the pocket?
You throw 3 yards behind people. Yeah.
Josh Allen's the same thing. Josh Allen's completion percentage dips below 55% from the pocket. So if you make him do that, that's a good recipe to win the game. He's not able to throw from the pocket as well as he is on the run. It's strange. I don't know why, but they've got to do that. And if they can get pressure on him, he's even worse. He starts seeing ghosts, just like Sam Darnold.
More Sam Darnold. That man, he's never going to catch a break. He's never going to live that down.
By the way, he has 2 first names.
That's true. I didn't
Josh
realize.
Allen?
Josh Allen has 2 first names.
I thought we were talking about Sam Darnold. I was like, who named their kid Darnold?
No, Sam Darnold looks like the Lego man.
You know what? It's Darnold. Darnold's
Megan, you heard it here first. Your first kid.
Maybe by your 4th kid, you'll get the name.
Hey, actually, Darnold Sasania doesn't sound bad.
Sound
Hey, Darn for short. Darn, get over here.
Darn, get your...
Wow, that's really bold. Whoa.
It's the segment that's going to have you saying, whoa.
Really bold.
Well, that's bold. That's what we're at right now. Big week this week. Ant, we'll start off with you. What do you got for Wow, That's Bold versus these Bills?
Last week I was correct. The 49ers did cause at least 3 turnovers. It was actually 4. This week I hope I'm correct again, because if I am, the 49ers are going to come up with a big dub. The 49ers are going to hold the Bills under 250 yards of total offense. I believe they'll hold the rushing game under 100, and they will hold Josh Allen under 150 yards passing.
That's so bold, man.
Is it?
It's bold. Oh, well, you think you can do
He
better?
thinks he's more bold.
Let's hear it then, Horse. What you got?
What's up, Horse?
I actually just meant that's not that bold after watching the Niners defense last week.
Oh, so give us the
True.
boldest statement.
The 49ers defense will have 4 sacks of Josh Allen.
Okay, that's bold.
I don't know if it's really bold after the last defensive performance.
And the 4th one will...
Oh, my Lord. Well, that's the line. Yeah, that one. It's fine. I'll save it. It's fine. I'll save the Wow That's Bold segment from wishing harm upon people to a lighter tone. The 49ers are going to have, gentlemen and ladies watching, 5. Count them, 5 different players scoring in the game versus these Buffalo Bills. Take that, Bills
I
Mafia.
think he won the boldness.
Wow.
5. That's
Scores,
right.
touchdowns, field goals?
No, see, they can be any way to put points
okay.
on the board. It could be a safety, it could be a fumble recovery, it could be a touchdown catch, run, pass, field goal. 5 different players, though. 5. Cinco.
You heard it here. 49ers win 10-0 on 5 safeties.
Whoa. From 5 different players. That's true. It could happen.
I'm going 4-3.
Be a heck of a game.
Esteves has been down the last few weeks. You've seen the Lock It Up segments for him. He's looked down. Hopefully, we'll get a little bit cheerier Esteves after this 49ers win this week.
It's
this
possible.
past week. We'll find out. It's time for Lock It Up.
Hey everyone, the Azorean one here. It's December. It's that special holly jolly season. And what better time to enjoy some quality entertainment than now? And what better entertainment than that of the entire first season of the 49er Cutback podcast. Available now on DVD and Blu-ray set. Order now. There's not going to be a Blu-ray set? There's no DVD set either? So it's all digital then on iTunes. Is that it? Digital? Yeah, smart. Not digital. No. This is all free? On YouTube. It's all free on YouTube and podcast. Huh. Didn't know that. How do they make money to pay me? Say what now? They're not paying me. I'm with her. They're not paying me. This is all free? Excuse me. Who said anything about this being free? Who said anything? I am on 3 podcasts. You know that? I'm a big name. 3 podcasts. I'm doing this for free? There's no pay? Excuse me. Who thinks that was a great idea? Who told me or said anything about that being a part of the plan? When was that? They can hear me? They can hear me right now. It's been a joy being a part of the 49er Cutback podcast. A great time, and could never think of a better time spent. And please, we don't do this for money. We do it out of love. Anyways, it's time for Lock It Up. Here are my picks for this week in the NFL. Taking the Seahawks over the Giants, who are somehow at the top of their division. The Rams over the Cardinals, and the Niners over the Bills. Those are my picks this week for Lock It Up. And remember, out of the goodness of our heart, we bring you the 49er Cutback podcast. The only payment we expect is that of love from all of you. We are going to work out the contract for other shows, okay? Because this is ridiculous.
All right. We're here, gentlemen. As you can see, We had two undefeated folk last week in Lock It Up, Horst and myself.
Yep.
I am now the two-time undefeated game picker.
I would like to point out that I am really glad that the Patriots beat Arizona.
Yeah.
Because it proved that you can beat Arizona with an inept quarterback. So that's good.
Watch out, Nick Mullins is coming for you, Cardinals.
Nick Mullins throws for 79 yards. That's a victory.
As long as he doesn't throw pick six. That's fine. First game on the docket for Lock It Up this week, guys, is Rams versus Cardinals. And what do you got?
So I watched the Cardinals versus the Patriots, and Kyler Murray's shoulder does not look right. I think that they are out of sorts. I think they are leaking oil. They might have come on strong, but I think they're struggling a little bit. And then we just watched the Rams play against the 49ers, and the 49ers handle business. So this is going to be very close, but I do think that the Rams are going to beat the Cardinals. I think it's going to be close, but I got McVay over the Cardinals. I got Kyler Murray struggling a little bit against Aaron Donald and this pass rush. Leonard Floyd has been bringing the heat. 24-23, Rams victory.
I also have the Rams winning pretty much for the same reasons as you. One, I think the Rams have better coaching. And two, I think the Rams defensive line is going to be all over Kyler Murray and his injured shoulders. He's not looking the same right now. And that Rams defensive front is probably going to be pretty angry coming into this game.
Yep.
Yes.
Excuse me. Rams 27, Cardinals 20.
Okay. I agree with both of you. Okay. I agree with both of you, okay? And the key reason is, like you said, the Donald reason. I think Aaron Donald is going to absolutely obliterate this Rams front line, their running back core. I don't think they're going to be able to establish anything on the ground, which I think leads to them being able to put Jalen Ramsey in one-on-one situations with DeAndre Hopkins. We get to see two of the best at each position going at each other, which is a great thing to watch and a great thing to witness. And at the end of the day, the Rams are going to get it done by the same exact score you stated, Anthony. 24-23 Rams. And the Niners now will only need one more win to close the gap.
Yeah, though if the 49ers win, they would actually tie the Cardinals. And as long as they defeated the Cardinals in Week 16, yeah, that would be big time. The next game, I don't know how big time this is. We got the New York Football Giants with all their big people against the Seattle Seahawks. We got Russ up there cooking. What do you think, Horst? Who you got?
All their big people.
All their big people.
All their big people.
David Gettleman.
Shout
He's
out,
got all
yeah.
the big people.
Shout out to Dave Gettleman.
All right. So I think the Giants will give this one a spirited effort. They're playing hard for Joe Judge over there.
Spirited.
But
Judge Joe Brown or
Joe Judge. Joe
Judge.
Judge.
Are you still working on that?
yeah.
Okay. So but I don't think Colt McCoy is going to do enough to
No.
beat the Seahawks. I think it'll be a decently close game till about halftime, and then the Seattle's going to pull away 34-20.
Hi, if you're new here, you should go back and watch other podcasts in which we make jokes about teams. That's a thing you do. The preview show for the Niners vs. Giants will refresh you, get you all caught up, and then you won't be as lost for the segment. Just pause the video, click on another link, and you can. It's fine. It's fine. As for this game, it's not fine. The Giants are in big trouble. It's just me, huge trouble. I don't know how they're going to get it done. Shout out Chris Berman. 31-10 Seattle in an absolute just bending over and punishing them for being shellacking is the right word. Thank you. Is the right word. Shellacking by the Seahawks of the poor Giants.
I have very limited respect for the Seahawks right now. I haven't seen anything from them over the last few weeks that make me think that they are a big-time team. I think they're somewhat falling back. Russ hasn't looked as accurate. It's pretty much been DK and then, a little bit from the run game. Chris Carson came back, but it's nothing special.
Lockett has a good game one every 3 games.
He does. And I think that, the Seahawks will win this game, but I think that the Giants are going to be hanging around. And I think the Seahawks will be up about 20-17, and then I think they'll score late to win 27-17.
Okay, all right.
So next up, the big one, Monday Night Football, Bills and Niners. and Arizona. Who you got?
Man, that was a dramatic build-up right there. I'll tell you what.
Chris Berman would think this was a Super Bowl if this was the late 80s, early 90s.
Basically. Gotta be honest, guys. I don't have a lot of faith in Nick Mullins. And because I don't have a lot of faith in Nick Mullins, it's a good thing that the 49ers defense is rock freaking solid, because they're going to get a turnover late in position for them to punch it in, and all Nick Mullins is going to have to do is not F it up, and he will. He will not screw it up. He will hand that ball off beautifully to Raheem Mostert on an outside zone that he'll break 2 tackles and then scamper into the end zone, and we'll finally get to see the surfboard at the end of the game as he rides the wave in, and the Niners ride the wave of momentum to another victory. 28-21 San Francisco.
Yeah, so when we picked these games way in the beginning of our schedule show, I had the 49ers defeating the Bills. A lot of things are definitely different from then. I believe Jimmy Garoppolo was going to be the quarterback and all that stuff. I thought we were still going to have Bosa and Ford and all that. And a lot has changed. But the thing that hasn't changed is I still believe that the 49ers defense is good enough to beat the Bills, good enough to cause problems for Josh Allen, and they will have a good enough game plan on offense because I trust Kyle Shanahan that they will get it done. But I believe the same thing is going to happen that I said in that, is I believe the 49ers are going to be up 27-24. Josh Allen's going to have the ball to drive with 2 minutes left, and he's going to throw an interception that clinches the game for the 49ers. Jason Verrett is going to pick it off, and the 49ers are going to win 27-24.
I have the 49ers winning 24-21 on a Bills turnover turned into Robbie Gould walk-off field goal.
Okay, Robbie Gould walking off in Zona.
All the home fans are going to go crazy.
They're going to go nuts. That Red Sea is going to be an actual Red Sea.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Still never met a Cardinals fan. All right, so Kyle Shanahan had some big stuff to talk about, especially players that haven't been in the lineup. Horse, we heard now, it's official from Shanahan that Ronald Blair and Weston Richburg will not be returning, and it's looking real bad for D Ford too. He said he doesn't expect it for him to return this year, but he's still holding out a slim bit of hope.
Yeah, I mean, it's none of that surprising, but it's disappointing because all those players make the team better when they're on the field. D Ford especially, Weston Richburg especially. I mean, those are 2 big-time players. 2 of our higher-paid players. And when Weston Richburg is playing center...
Is that Witchy's friend?
Yeah, Weston Witchbug.
Good old
and when
Weston
he's
Witchbug.
playing center, the line's a lot better. So it's unfortunate. Still haven't really got an update on Ben Garland.
Yeah, I don't know what
what's
happened to
going
that
on
guy.
there.
No one's even asking about him.
No, and we should be asking about him in all honesty.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was playing well.
He was playing well. It's really upsetting to hear about D Ford. I think all of us, every 49er fan was hoping at some point to get some sort of pass rush relief help at some point this season. So to hear that there's a chance that he may not be coming back at all whatsoever is pretty devastating to the idea that we'd be going the whole season without an elite pass rusher. Essentially, Kerry Hyder's been playing great, but he's a great pass rusher. He's not an elite pass rusher. And it's even more upsetting to hear about Weston Richburg and Ronald Blair potentially as well being done for the year. Not having either of those 2 guys back, Blair would have been a nice rotational piece in the D-line that could have kept everybody fresh. And Weston Richburg, as Horst said, that O-line does not play the same when he's not out there. He is the guiding captain of that front 5 and getting them into the right calls in the right situations. Hearing that, it's really upsetting. It's really sad because there's a good chance this is it for him in San Francisco unless he's willing to restructure his contract and take a whole heck of a lot less money, because missing a season and a half isn't going to cut it for what he's making. So really, really disappointing and upsetting to hear.
Yeah, so without any news on Ben Garland, we really are pretty much locked into Daniel Brunskill at center. And then is it Tom Compton or Colton McKivitz at right guard? McKivitz played well. I'm curious if they let the guy play again and just see what he's got. It might be a smart move for them just to go ahead and see what the Rook's got. So it starts.
McKivitz on Ed Oliver.
Yeah, and then we got a whole Mick side. We got McGlinchey and McKivitz. And, it's our Big Mac side, so that might work.
The Irish side.
Yeah. So I think that was kind of a bad news for us as far as just hoping we were going to get that second wave. Seems like every time we're hoping that second wave is going to come on defense, it doesn't. Luckily, we did get Richard Sherman back, and I think actually Tarvarius Moore stepping in is going to end up being huge for the 49ers. But we did get a glimmer of hope from Kyle Shanahan. Kyle Shanahan says that Jimmy Garoppolo and George Kittle may return for the last 2 games, and now Kittle's saying that's a possibility. Alex, what do you think about these 2 guys possibly coming back?
How do we say it? Oh, hey, huge, huge. Not even, I have to use a Y. That's how big it is. There is nothing that would be bigger for this offense than to get the guy under center who you know can lead you to the promised land, and the best tight end in the game. Both running routes downfield, catching the ball yards after catch, and blocking. It'll open up a whole nother dynamic of the offense, and we may actually finally get to see all of the pieces to the puzzle on the field at the same time healthy. That's what I want, is healthy. I want them all on the field at the same time healthy. Everyone that's playing now has got to stay and remain healthy, and we got to get those guys' timetable. They're going to have no setbacks in order to accomplish that and make that a reality. I know Kittle is pushing for sooner rather than later. Hopefully it's sooner, but Kittle, George, listen. If it's not going to be sooner, man, just make sure when you step back on that field you're healthy. We cannot risk losing you for any more time than we already have.
Yeah, those 2 coming back would be huge. Kittle, like you said, the best tight end in football. There's people that would make the argument the best player in football last year. If you look at his grade on Pro Football Focus, he had the highest grade in the NFL. He does everything that his position requires him to do well. So obviously it's a huge deal to get him back. And if you've watched any games lately, I think you could tell we could use Jimmy G back. Mullins ain't it, and it'd be great to get our starting quarterback back to help guide the offense.
Yeah, having these 2 guys, they're starting to do like the off practice, on the side field. Jimmy's boot came off a week ago, so he's starting to do stuff. George Kittle's starting to do stuff. He said that the foot is healing nice for the first week. It's starting to feel nice. So those are good signs. If the 49ers can take care of business over these next few weeks and get us to that point in Arizona where they are in a firm place to get to the playoffs, these 2 guys could be just what we need to push us over the top. And I think that would be huge. Just another surge of energy. Every time one of these guys comes back, it feels like the energy in the locker room, in the room, just picks up, even when everything is going on. Debo did it this time. Brandon Ayuk coming back, we'll do it next time. And then hopefully we can get these guys down the road. And I think that if we get to Arizona and they have a chance to make the playoffs, this team is going to be hard to stop, and nobody wants to play these guys in the future. Now, Horst, we did get some guys off of the COVID list. Who did we get back?
We got back Brandon Ayuk, DJ Jones, Daniel Helm, and Jordan Willis.
No, Daniel Helm is still on.
Oh, my mistake.
Yeah, the only reason I know is he didn't travel with the team to Arizona.
Bad sources then. So we got back DJ Jones, Jordan Willis, and Brandon Ayuk, which are the 3 more important guys off the list.
Absolutely.
And as Ant said, we're nearing the return of Mark Nzocha.
It is. Mark Nzocha's window from the IR has been opened, his practice window. He can now start practicing.
He's a core special teams player.
He is a core special team.
But that's huge. DJ Jones is one of the team's best defensive linemen. He's one of their better interior linemen. And Willis has been providing a solid spark off the edge. So getting both those guys back is big.
Absolutely, and it's going to allow them to move people around a little bit more. Getting Willis back will allow Armstead on pass rush downs to move inside, and you can run with the Kerry Hyder Willis combination, or you can throw Hyder inside and go Armstead on the outside with Willis as well. It opens up a lot of possibilities and a lot of doors that Kasarik and Sala can fiddle around with and have some fun with to throw different looks at teams and get them off balance and keep their own line guessing.
Yeah, we saw this week there was opportunities for him outside pass rush. Alex Barrett was making somewhat of an impact on plays he was in. If that would have been Jordan Willis, there would have been more sacks, more pressures. So that is going to be definitely needed.
Do you think it's the number?
It could be. It could be the number that's 64. That's a great number.
It's a great number.
Yeah, I like that number.
It really does. It really does.
But it's nice to see that the health is getting back. And the question is going to be, how many of these teams are going to be healthy when they play the 49ers? The 49ers have been playing unhealthy all season. Now some of these teams are facing the same adversity. 49ers are the only NFC West team that hasn't had their starting quarterback on day one take every snap like the other three have. If one of them have a quarterback go down, it could be big time. We've already seen the Bears take a step back. We've seen other teams in the NFC take a step back. So it's the Vikings and the 49ers really building for this last playoff spot. Do you guys think the 49ers have a better chance of catching Arizona or the LA Rams?
I honestly think they can catch both. The Rams, they can definitely catch the Cardinals because they're only one game behind them and they play them again.
Right.
So, I mean, obviously winning out would be extremely difficult to do, but I'm saying that possibility is already there. And they're, 2 games behind the Rams?
Yes.
So, I mean, that's in the realm of possibility of, the Rams still have to play
the Cardinals twice.
The Cardinals twice.
And the Seahawks.
Seattle, that's what I was going to say. The Cardinals and Seattle, I didn't know it was twice for the Cardinals. So, I mean, there's plenty of games in there the Rams can lose. Plus, if they tie, the Niners are ahead of them because they beat them twice.
Right.
So, it's a definite possibility that they can come in there. And right now, I think the Vikings might be better than the Cardinals, the way the Cardinals have looked the last couple of weeks.
It's definitely a possibility.
And that's more due to injury than anything. But
yeah, the thing that's at least the Vikings have to play Green Bay still, and they have to play the Bears, so they're going to kind of eliminate each other. And then, so that's what you're hoping for.
Yep.
I mean, besides doing a deep dive into all their schedules, I think the 49ers are in a very good place to strike. And Alex, I think they can get this done.
I agree with you both. I think they can catch both teams. Here's the good news, a fun fact stat for everybody out there. The 49ers this year, every single one of their wins has resulted in a winning streak of 2 games. They won 2, the Giants and the Jets, and they lost, and then they won 2 again before they lost. And now they just won another game, which means the likelihood is that they're going to pull another one off and continue that trend of winning at least 2 games in a row, and then they try and get over that hump and get number 3. Magical number 3. You want to break through that glass ceiling. Got to break through it. I think they can get it done. I know they can get it done. The question is, can we execute, and can we not shoot ourselves in the foot?
Yeah, the game plan is going to be on point this week. I think that even though all this stuff is going on, the game is on Monday, which means, once again, Kyle Shanahan has the extra day to make sure everything is in line. I know they have the travel day early, but they'll be ready to go. And I think they're motivated now. Horst always laughs about the horizontal offense, but that is what the 49ers are going to live on. And if the horizontal offense leads to a vertical game with Brandon Ayuk back in the lineup and Jordan Reed gobbling up safeties, he's having to take double coverage all day long. If they don't start double covering Brandon Ayuk and Deebo Samuel at times, then Jordan Reed is so invaluable because he's going to make it so easy for those guys to make plays. And if they do start doubling Deebo Samuel, Jordan Reed can beat any safety, any linebacker in the league, and he can make big-time plays. So the 49ers finally have enough weapons. And like you said, if they get everyone back, if they finally get Jimmy and George back for those last 2 games, they will be healthy and fully ready for the playoffs. I don't care if they're the 7th seed. I worry for any team that has to play them in the playoffs. It's going to be tough to beat them.
Agree.
All right, guys, you know what time it is. Let's chalk another one up. You just try to slap me?
What's your deal? My word.
By the way, if my last name was Ding, I would name my kid Bill. And he would have to be a construction worker.
Bill Ding.
I thought you were gonna say. I thought he was gonna say Ding Dong. Oh my gosh, Horst. Well, we know that's gonna be one of the things at the end of the show.
So corny, but great at the same time.
Yep, I'll wait till after the show's over to see that one in the credits.
All right, we got.
I'll kick it to you.
Well, hold on. We got a nice call to action now.
Yeah, Horst,
I'm not doing it.
You're not gonna do it?
No.
And you do this.
All right,
one.
I'll do it.
Here we go. 3, 2.